welcome to another episode of the Freelancers Mindset Shortcast. It's so nice to see you guys here again. Thanks for supporting. And the person we have with us today is one of my really good friends. And let me do a big reveal right now. He is the person I got inspired from to start my meetings with. Hello, everybody. Because that's the way he picks up all my phone calls. Hey, Aradhya, welcome to the call with your signature hello.
Hello.
Yes, so that's where I got it from. So who is Aradhya? Aradhya is the enterprising director of operations at Detox Herbals. It's a family venture which he joined in 2017 and took over what his father is doing, and adding all of his latest ideas and trends, he has scaled it up into something much more. Apart from Detox Herbals, he also runs a thriving food court business which is called Carnival Food Court. He brings his love for unique flavors to the streets as well. And finally, he has started a new venture just now. You might have seen it on a lot of my socials, where he has a company called Cali by NMTC, where he customizes a lot of products for various people. He also made a journal and a bottle and so many things for me. So, hey Aradhya, welcome to the call amidst this busy schedule that you have.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So let's just get right into it. What has your journey been like? You told me right from your college days, you just did an internship and then became an entrepreneur. You never went to corporate life. So why did you choose to not do that?
Um, because I wanted to own what I did. I did not want to, give out 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day to build somebody else's company, to build somebody else's brand.
Mm-hmm.
And, I did not want to give everything I had just to make sure that somebody else got a fatter paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, take your own risks, do your own thing.
Right. So what really happened during that internship which made you decide I'm not going to go to corporate ever again?
Well, a couple of things. So one, it was very task oriented. So they'd give you a task and they'd get it done. But you've
Mm-hmm.
got several other people doing other tasks as well. So you're like, where is my control? I've just been told that, you are just one small piece of that entire puzzle, which
Mm-hmm.
somebody else is in charge of. And you get your thing done. And it's a need to know basis. Get your thing done. Everything else will get done. So one, not really knowing what's going on. And the second would definitely be that, this sounds a little egoistic, but yeah, my VP, who was definitely earning a lot even at that point of time back in 2013, 14, I go to his office and I'm like, my bedroom is bigger than this. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, irrespective of how powerful this person is in the company, how much he's earning, there are certain things that he cannot afford to do. For
Mm-hmm.
example, if the company tells him that this is your office, then that is his office.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I wanted that kind of freedom. If I want to work from my own house, I can have my own room to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If I like, I have my own factory, so there's a proper office that I have in the factory. At
Mm-hmm.
the food court, I have my own office, which I designed myself.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So those are the kind of freedoms that I had. I've always been somebody who likes customization. People on my mother's side are in the armed forces, but and my father's side are mostly into business. So
Okay.
be it with the armed forces, be it with people in business, it's always been that when you're introduced, um, either people don't go say that this person is this rank in the army. They say that this person is in the army.
Mm-hmm.
Irrespective of rank, that offers you a certain, I would say, not just respect, but authority within any sort of room.
Mm-hmm.
When you're working for a government organization, irrespective of what post you are in, you're still a government official 24 hours, 365. You go to any other state, and if there's something you need to get done, you can talk to anybody in that particular, whichever government
Yeah.
organization that you talk about. If you're in
Mm-hmm.
the government, then you're part of the system, and the system sort of works with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I've seen that, and I've also seen people in corporate not really enjoying that, they could have all the money in the world, and yet
Mm-hmm.
if there is a line, if there's a queue to get to a certain place, they will be in that queue. And this
Mm-hmm.
is obviously before we had VIP darshans.
Right.
So now money does work in those places, but at a time when it was not monetized, even going something as simple as going to a temple would be different if you are, either from the forces or from a government
Mm-hmm.
organization.
For sure. So for me, the reason why I didn't want to, I mean, I was in corporate for 2.5 years, but after that, the reason I left is because when I was in corporate, I could only do what was there. Right now, I am a Toastmaster. I'm also running my LinkedIn and my Instagram pages. I'm publishing a book. I'm doing this podcast. I have so many things. And just like that, you also have a persona for comic. You're crazy about Harry Potter as much as me. You also have a food page called Eats a Lot. I think Lord Eats a Lot on Instagram. You also have these other interests, right? So you're able to pursue it while also managing your businesses. I couldn't do that when I was in corporate. So that's the main reason why I left, because I had other things I wanted to pursue. But anyways, speaking of all these different ventures you're doing, how do you manage like three totally different businesses? One is a herbal medicines and supplements brand, the other is a customized products business, and the third is a food court. So how do you balance everything?
You have to be dependent on staff.
Hmm.
You can't do everything on your own. So you need to have certain routines to follow, certain checks and balances to make sure that everything is going as per plan. And uh, so the factory is majorly handled by my father.
Mm-hmm.
He does most of the detox work. I do the social media thing because I'm an engineer and I enjoy interacting with computers and things related. So I handle online operations, the entire online operations I handle. It is something I can do from my office. So it is, even if I'm in the factory, I can do it, or if I'm at Carnival, I can do it. If I'm at home, I can do it. I have freedom of how I can do it. There are obviously, so I go to the factory every once or twice a week,
Mm-hmm.
and my office is at Carnival, so I'm at Carnival almost every day.
Okay.
And the same with Cali. So the machine for Cali I've installed at the food court itself in my office.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm able to do it because I have placed them in certain ways which are convenient to me, which again I can do only because I own the businesses.
Right. Hmm.
I cannot be in a corporate thing and tell my boss that, boss, I want to add I have, let's say I'm working 8 hours for you, and I've got
Mm-hmm.
another 2 hours that I feel I can work every single day. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to just start this side venture, and like, can you give me a space where I can put my machine?
Hmm.
That is not
Okay.
something I can do in corporate because, so you talked about how you did not have enough time
Hmm.
while you were in corporate.
Time
That is
or
the
permission.
advantage. Time and or permission, exactly. So the best thing about being your own boss or owning your own businesses is you decide how much time you want to give to any particular task. So for example, Tuesdays are usually off at the food court. So Tuesdays are the ones that I schedule to go for my factory visit.
Hmm.
But in case if I cannot, I can always call it and say, okay, I'm not coming today. I'll come tomorrow, or I'll come day after. I'm still getting daily reports. I have CCTV cameras. I have my staff reporting that, this was done, this much needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, I get to control what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for example, you mentioned Badgeman. So
Yeah.
3 days a year
Mm-hmm.
and 2 days for traveling. One day that I go, one day that I come back. So 5 days a year I take out for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And even if there's, there are things going on at the food court or there are things going on at the factory, I can always tell them that 5 days will not make or break me.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know, me not being there for 5 days will not be catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
So if there is an issue, handle it. If
Mm-hmm.
there is a bigger issue, talk to one of the, vendors, one of the van owners.
Mm-hmm.
If there is something that can be managed by an owner, talk to my father.
Okay.
And if none of these work, only
Mm-hmm.
then will you call me in these 5 days.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So 5 days I did not get a single call because everyone realized that, if there is, let's say what, if there were too many orders and the staff was not able to manage it, there's nothing that I can do in that. They
Mm-hmm.
just have to streamline the process. If there was something that is, if a vendor was absent and they have to turn, let's say, the online ordering system off, they don't need me for it. They know how to do it. They know how to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So I've set those checks and balances, and I'm very sure that, nothing catastrophic can happen in those 5 days.
Right. Okay.
So I get to dictate that because this is my business, I want this time to get this done. There have
Mm-hmm.
also been days where I've, been in the office for 16 plus hours.
Mm-hmm.
let's say we've got some major event coming, we've got lots of good people coming in, we've got lots of potential clients coming in.
Hmm.
So I get to dictate that. I don't have somebody telling me you have to do this.
Hmm. Hmm.
You have to come for the weekend, or you have to, XYZ do whatever.
Right.
If I want to take a day off and I feel that, today's a light day, it doesn't really matter. I can just chill back home. If
Hmm.
there's a day that, something important is coming up, then I get to decide, okay, theek hai, this is important for me. This can be
Hmm.
good for business, or this is somebody that I know personally, so I want to attend.
Hmm.
Whichever those things, I get to decide. It's not somebody telling me do this or do that.
Yeah.
So because I get to decide, it is easier to schedule.
Hmm.
And because I get to schedule, it is easier to juggle the multiple things.
Awesome. Based on what you have told me just now, I'm getting two questions. People and your customers. Let's take it one by one. In terms of people, you're saying that you have built a business that is able to run even without you there. You don't need to micromanage them. You don't need to be physically present there. You can take part in your other activities. It still goes on. So, how did you find these reliable people? And do you have any systems to train them? Is there any seamless like SOPs or anything that they do?
Reliability is something that is built over a passage of time. And how good they're trained, it depends. So my person who does my billing only needs to know how to do the billing software. In the factory, the person who runs, let's say, the pulverizer needs to know how the pulverizer works.
What is a
You
pulverizer?
know, a pulverizer is a machine which makes a powder. Like you put in a solid object. For example, let's say haldi, turmeric.
Hmm.
So turmeric, when it comes from the market, from for us, it comes as sticks. Haldi comes it is a stick.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right. And then that is dried and put in a pulverizer, and what you get is the turmeric powder. Yeah, every staff person has a different thing that he needs to do, and they're usually either trained in it. So, for example, when we are especially looking for a biller, so we just look for somebody who knows how to work a laptop. And within 3 to 4 days, we teach him how to use the billing software. Same goes for employees at the factory.
Hmm.
If there's somebody who needs to do accounts, so there needs to be somebody who has some knowledge of accounts, and then we tell them how our accounts work,
Hmm.
and they get it done. Now, reliability is a two-way process. One,
Hmm.
you hope that the person you've got is somebody who will be reliable, and two, you have to be omnipresent.
Hmm.
Right. So let's say, for example, one of my staff members who does a lot of various things. He does some of the things for my like errands for the household,
Hmm.
like getting something from the market. And he also manages things at Carnival and just helps out in general in everything.
Hmm.
So I have a proper WhatsApp group with him and a proper to-do list which is associated only with him.
Hmm.
So when I'm telling him what to do, I tell him, okay, note down, these are the things that need to be done. This needs to be done on priority. This can be done within the next 2 days.
Hmm.
And then every morning when he comes to me, I don't have to micromanage when he leaves.
Hmm.
ठीक है ना? Every morning when he comes to me, I have a word with him that what all was done, what
Hmm.
all is left. If there's something that needs to be followed right away. For example, when I sent your packages for Cali,
Hmm.
so printing the label and doing the printing on the items is something that I do on my own, for
Hmm.
now at least, because it's a
Okay.
new business venture and it is very cool technology. So I really like doing it.
Okay.
Just seeing that laser work its magic, it is very, very cool.
Right.
And being able to change what kind of effects you're getting on a material simply by changing frequency or changing the kind of pattern it is making is
Hmm.
just very cool, and I'm a geek for such a things.
Typical engineer
So
behavior, I guess.
the technology is just so cool. So
Nice.
that, yeah, so the marking thing and printing the label stuff that I do on my own. But then these I hand over to this person, and his job is to make sure they're packed well, and then they're taken to the courier office and they're sent. And whatever has been sent, a receipt is sent to me on WhatsApp,
Hmm.
and then details of that receipt are put in a register.
Hmm.
I've divided the task into things that only I can do or I want to do, and
Okay.
things that I can outsource to any of my staff. And then those things I check. Like once a week, I'll just tell him that, okay, get the register. I just want to see what all has been delivered. or I can ask him, Acha, what was the cost of this particular thing you sent, or why did you not send me the receipt? Overloading my staff with information of things to do will result in something that will be lossful for me.
Hmm.
So what I tell them is, okay, get this product and take out X kg of this product.
Hmm.
Then they come back to me, so that is done. Then I tell them, okay, now mix this and mix this and this. So I give them a list of 4 or 5 tasks to do, and then they come back and report to me.
Hmm.
Instead of giving them the entire process and just hoping that they're reliable enough to get everything done correctly, I give them bits and pieces of it that, do this much first, then do this much, then do this much, and just keep coming back to me with, okay, this is done.
Hmm.
What next?
Hmm.
So that is how the reliability thing happens, that instead of me relying on them being able to do their job 100%, I
Hmm.
break it down in such a way that I'm very sure that they can do. So I have certain staff whom I can give, maybe a week's worth of work in a single go.
Hmm.
And I know that they'll just keep telling me that, Acha, this was done, this was done, this was done, and I am chill.
Okay.
And I also have staff who I have to, monitor on a every 1 to 2 task basis.
Hmm.
So reliability is built that way, that I know what my staff is good at. It is more about, instead of thinking of this as how reliable the staff is, it's about how well I know my staff
Hmm.
and how comfortable I make them doing things, instead of them feeling that I am overloading them or I am thinking little of them. That I don't have them saying that sir gives him 5 tasks and gives me 2 tasks. Why is that?
I remember reading an article which said it's enough if your employees know what they are working towards. They have a purpose and they know what they are working towards. You don't need to tell them how to achieve it. You don't need to tell them, like, these are the steps you need to do. That becomes robotic. Every day they come in, they do the same amount of tasks. They lose their creativity also. If you just tell them this is what we want done by the end of the day, they will find out a creative way to get it done smarter or faster, or they'll keep improving themselves. If it takes them 10 minutes on day one, they'll finish it in 5 minutes on day five or something. So you don't need to breathe down their necks and spoon feed them everything. You just tell them this is what we are working towards. This has to get done by the end of the day. So I think that's an awesome method that you're following.
And they become more capable because
Hmm.
they learn how to do it and they learn on their own instead of being spoon fed.
Yeah. And again, if you're not present for 5 days, they don't need to sit and call you 10 times till you pick up, like, tell me what to do next. I'm like paralyzed if you're not here telling me what to do. So, coming to the second part of the question I had, customers and audience. So now you told me how you manage the team, which is what happens behind the scenes. But now you're also marketing to all of these people. You need people to come in person to your carnival. It's more of a local level marketing because you're in Dehradun, only people there can come to it. And you're having this online social media stuff that you're doing for detox herbals. You have so much going on. So what is the marketing process like, and how do you attract different customers to each of these ventures?
So marketing is different for all three businesses. For detox, we primarily rely either on Google Ads
Hmm.
or a bit of influencer marketing, depending on what kind of product we are going for. So, for example, the liver medicine. So nobody, is looking for an influencer who tells them, "Oh, I had a fatty liver and I took this medicine and it's really good now."
Right.
That does not help. That is
Hmm.
where Google Ads will help, because you have people going on Google and saying that, medicine for fatty liver or Ayurvedic treatment for fatty liver, and that is where we want our medicine to pop up.
Hmm.
On the same hand, let's say if we have, let's say, the Wonder Oil, which is basically a blend of essential oils
Hmm.
that cures headaches and cures nasal blockages. These are products that a lot of people look at influencers and order. So these go through influencer marketing. And
Hmm.
obviously our marketing as well, that we're just putting it on our own social media. So that is how detox goes. For Cali, we have just really started. We haven't really gone ahead and marketed as much. It has primarily been about telling my friends that this is something that I've started, and if you want something customized, that is something that we can do for a very reasonable price. Because mostly when people hear of customization, they feel this will be very expensive. I am, however, a walking, talking advertisement for
Hmm.
my products. So, people ask me, how are you? tall and so full of life, and tell them, I eat at Carnival and the food is really great.
Wow.
Or if they're like, what kind of products you can get customized. So I have my name on my watch and I have my
Uh,
initials on my spectacles. I have my logos on my wallet.
hmm.
So these are three things that I can straight away tell people, if you have a watch, you can do this. If you have a ring, you can do this.
Hmm.
And if you want your customized spectacles or if you just want to upscale, maybe
Hmm.
get spectacles that are unbranded. And if you want me to write Gucci or Prada on them, this is one thing that we're doing. My coasters have Carnival engraved on them.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I'm a walking, talking advertisement for Cali as of now.
Hmm.
Cali, I carry the things that can be customized. So my watch, my spectacles, my wallet. If somebody comes to my office, they get to see that, oh, they have customized coasters as well.
Hmm.
So that is how we are branding Cali out because people need to know that things can be customized. One, because a lot
Hmm.
of people don't really know. They're like, okay, I bought a pen, I bought a pen. People
Hmm.
don't know you can get your name on that pen as well.
Hmm.
People buy pendants, people buy rings,
Hmm.
for their loved ones, and they don't know that they can actually have their names inside. So, one of my best friends
Hmm.
was in town, and one of her friends just had a baby.
Hmm.
So, she got the baby a really nice, cute little silver bangle.
Oh, cute.
And we were just sitting in the office, we were talking about him, like, that, what are you giving? She's like, I'm giving a silver bangle. So, like, why don't you have, the child's name and date of birth engraved on the inside? And she's like,
Hmm.
ऐसा हो सकता है? Like, what is this magic? I
Hmm.
bought, I wanted a piece of jewelry. I went to a jeweler and I got it.
Hmm.
How do I make this generic piece of jewelry into something that will forever be with that child?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I was like, no, this can be done. So we took that small bangle and we had the child's name on one side and her date of birth on the other.
Hmm.
So now it's a keepsake forever. It just becomes a lot more personalized. So that is what we're
Yeah.
marketing with Cali right now. That is
Hmm.
what we're trying to tell people.
Yeah, it's no
Right.
longer a bangle, it's your bangle now.
It is your bangle now.
Hmm.
Exactly. So customization, one, it is possible, and two, it is approachable, accessible, affordable. With Carnival, our I would say aim or criteria or basically our target audience in a way are the
Hmm.
people who live in the immediate 5 kilometer
Radius.
radius. We want dining out not to be something that people can only do once a month. One, because it is
Hmm.
very expensive, and two, because it is very heavy on the stomach.
Hmm.
So our philosophy at Carnival is that we give you, restaurant quality
Hmm.
at slightly over dhaba prices.
Okay.
So if let's say a plate of noodles costs you less than 100 rupees, if a plate of momos costs you less than 100 rupees, and you don't have to be standing at a roadside corner to eat this.
Hmm.
You can sit down in a proper area with where you have games for kids, which are
Hmm.
free to play,
Hmm.
and it is hygienic, and everything, the vegetables are fresh. They're not the ones that were rejected from the mandi,
Hmm.
and the spices are good ones. Or let's say you can have a thali for 130, 150 rupees.
Hmm.
So you can always keep coming back. So that is how we've built our customer base for Carnival. That
Hmm.
we've got people who live close by, they definitely come to us for their occasional weekend outings.
Hmm.
But then they also come to us, for example, if they've had a very long day and they're like that, I have chapatis at home. Let me just take some vegetable from here.
Hmm.
Or if somebody has guests coming over and they're like that, we've made dinner, but just go grab some snacks.
Hmm.
So that is what we have marketed ourselves as, and that is something that thankfully we have been pretty successful in.
Awesome.
So carnival marketing is very localized. A lot of people
Hmm.
market their restaurant for the entire city.
Hmm.
Uh, we have chosen to cater for our immediate audience
Hmm.
as the primary. Obviously, if people come to us from different parts of the city, because there are certain items which in the city they said, this particular item is really good.
Hmm.
So there are people who come to us for certain items that we make really well,
Hmm.
but our repeating customers, our daily customers are people who come from our immediate vicinity.
Hmm.
And because we are very aware of that, we try and do things for them as well. So we
Hmm.
hosted a small winter carnival. So we got people to get in exhibitions, cost effective stuff. good wooden items, some
Hmm.
shawls.
Hmm.
A lady who lives in the neighborhood, she makes her own crochet knit
Oh,
things,
cool. Hmm.
right? So it's a lady and her two daughters who run the entire thing.
Hmm.
So they set up a stall and we had a very reasonable price. So they did not really feel uncomfortable paying that, if we have to come for 2 days, how much do we pay you?
Hmm.
So because we gave them at a very reasonable price, they were able to give items for as less than as less than what, 80 rupees. In the carnival, we also had a drawing competition for kids,
Hmm.
and we had a fancy dress competition for the ladies. And it
Okay.
was based on brides of India, so nothing vulgar would be put on.
Okay.
And we had all these. We had a Kumauni bride, we had a Gadwali bride, we had a Marathi bride.
Hmm.
So it was fun for everybody. And obviously, because we've got a lot of people in our neighborhood, they're like, okay, there is something good happening at Carnival. Let's go, let's check it out. We were talking about how I get customers, but there's also the fact that even though my staff is managing most of the operations, I keep going out in the middle
Hmm.
and I talk to the customers that, is everything well? Was the food to your liking? Is
Hmm.
there something we can do better?
Hmm.
So,
Got it.
it is not just about giving every customer a review card and telling us that
Hmm.
rate us. No, I go to them personally. I ask for the feedback. So there's a personal connect with a lot of customers, especially the repeat ones, because they're like, right, the owner comes and talks to us.
Actually, you have given a lot of insights now for all three of your businesses. You have dissected exactly what happens, which is awesome. The biggest takeaway for me was what you do for your Cali brand, where you are your first customer. That is kind of what happens to me as well, except in my case, since it's not product based, it's service based. I have a LinkedIn profile where I create content for myself. So, what it looks like is I have created good content, somebody has found my profile, so it has organically reached people and they read the content, they like it, and they think, okay, this girl genuinely writes good content, I want you to write this for me as well. And I interviewed a clothing brand owner and she told me that if she would wear that dress, she allows her customers to wear it as well. So she is her first customer, and I love how you have said the same for yourself, where you would use your products, you are your first customer, and you just do good work and the business comes automatically. I think that's a great mindset for entrepreneurs to have. How did you cultivate that habit of taking guilt free time off for yourself or away from your business? Not so that it can run without you, but so that you can really enjoy that rest you're taking.
So I was a part of the not taking a break category for a good amount of time. I would constantly worry about that, okay, I have 10 things that I need to get done today. And I managed to do 8 of them, let's say, throughout the day. And so I've got 2 more for the next day, which has its own 15 new things that need to be done. And if someday I manage to do the entire checklist, then I'm looking for what things have I missed or what can I do in advance.
Mhm.
So it was constantly sort of running after completing a checklist because every day there would be something new happening. Be it detox and they're like, as the herbs have not dried or we mixed them and, they have not powdered as well. It could be in carnival. I've had weirdest of instances. Like there was this one time when somebody took a tap from the washroom,
Hmm.
like closed the spout, unscrewed the tap and took it away.
Okay.
And I'm like, maybe he really needed a tap. Became a cycle that constantly, every single day I'm getting up and okay, what all I have to do. And by the time I'm halfway through that list, more things are being added. That it started feeling a lot that, why did I even start? It would have been easier was I in a corporate setting because I know what I need to get done, which will be a limited amount of things. And even if something goes wrong, it is not just me who's under the brunt. Even my boss will get yelled at. Maybe that would be a fun part.
Hmm.
You know, when you're the owner, all the good things are yours, but all the bad things are yours as well.
Hmm.
So all of that kept going on in my mind that, do this, do this, do this, do this. This has gone wrong, that has gone wrong. How to make sure this does not go wrong again. Until I finally was like, okay, I had to take a break. This was like had to that I had weddings that I had to attend. You
Hmm.
know, some of my closest friends were getting married, and I had to be out, and I was gone for, I think, approximately a week or 10 days.
Hmm.
And before going, I was pretty nervous about it. I was like, how will everything manage? We've got three businesses running. How will things happen? How will things happen? But by the time I came back, even though I was slightly, I was worried to the point that I took my laptop along, that, if something major goes wrong, I will be available.
Hmm.
And nothing major did go wrong. There were minor things that happened which were easily doable by somebody else,
Hmm.
or they were things that could wait for me to come back.
Hmm.
So one of my major takeaways from that was that, a few days will not make or break me or my businesses. Definitely when you start something new, you have to put a lot in it. Like for Cali, when I got this was right before Diwali. And there was a major rush in my head that, I have to make sure I can make customized silver biscuits that people can gift on Diwali. And this is wedding season. And, where do I get the silver? X, Y,
Hmm.
Z, thousand things to do.
Hmm.
And the wedding season went. I was like, but people will still keep get married. People will be married in February, some in January. And
Hmm.
then again next August, the cycle will start.
Hmm.
So what I've achieved, I've achieved. Now I have to make sure the next one I will be ready for.
Hmm.
Same thing with a carnival, same thing with detox. That I came back and realized that going out for a couple of days, being not present, as long as you've put in the initial work,
Hmm.
everything manages itself. And even if you've not put in the entire initial work, because a lot of people really stress about that. I was supposed to get this done and I'm only like 60% done, even my base is not ready.
Hmm.
Another 2 days, 3 days will not change that in such a way that will entirely alter how it would be in the future. And if it does, it wasn't meant to be.
Awesome then. So my final question to you before I let you go, what is your message to people who are, aspiring entrepreneurs? They just want to take the leap and do something. Maybe they don't have an initial investment that they can make, or they have some financial situation at home, they can't take the risk, or they are just kind of on the fence whether to do this or not. What is your advice to them?
So there were a lot of factors that you mentioned here. If you have a financial situation at home which you feel that your risk cannot be afforded, let's say you are an only child and you have an ailing mother, and you do not have a father and you have a sister who needs to be wed or something, who is really young, maybe your sister is in school and you are the sole bread earner, focus on getting through that first. you know it is easy for us to talk about risk because we are privileged. A lot of people don't understand privilege. People think privilege is only if you are rich. But I think one of the biggest privileges is that tonight, if you right now you say, I do not want to work, I am done with this, you do not have to think about where you will sleep, what you will eat,
Hmm.
or whether people in your family will go hungry because you quit. And
Hmm.
that is major privilege.
Hmm.
So, yes, first of all, if you're in a situation where you cannot take that risk, don't.
Hmm.
I know there are people who feel that, if you do not take a risk, you will be nobody. But if there are people who are dependent on you, and you have to be very clear about this, it cannot be that you are three siblings and you have two other people who can take care of things if something goes really, really bad, right? There are two people who can take care of things, then you can afford to take that risk.
Hmm.
So be very clear. Don't victimize yourself that, if I take this risk, everything will fall. Take a calculated risk in that sense. But
Hmm.
apart from that, if you are privileged enough to choose and you're okay with having a job, I know a lot of people who have a 9 to 5 and they're happy with it. I know people who are in government offices and they're happy with it. It doesn't have to be that just because being a business owner is lucrative to me or is something that I like to do does not have to be the same for you. If everybody started their own businesses, the companies would shut down and the entire society would collapse.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, first of all, don't be influenced by other people doing their own thing. If you are comfortable in what you're doing, if you like your job, if you are okay with the fact, let's say you're not very happy at the job. People
Mm-hmm.
want a lot of job satisfaction nowadays. They want to be happy at their job. But
Mm-hmm.
if your job takes you a total of 8 hours a day, that is giving you 6 to 7 hours every single day to do what you want to. Earn at the job, have fun with the money that you earn. Instead of focusing on that, I will quit my decently paying job to do something that I will also love doing. I love food. I love technology. I love that my products help people medically for Ayurveda, right? But that does not mean this becomes easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I am doing things in fields that I love, just because I am doing things that I am passionate about, does not automatically make it an easier journey for me.
For sure.
Right? It's the same for everybody. If you are in a comfortable job where you do not have too much of toxicity, where you have a decent amount of money that you're making, that you're able to save and spend, and maybe also, take out a couple of knickknacks for people around you who matter to you, that is a very comfortable position. Don't go chasing after that. No, I will build, I will build.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes for people who keep thinking of whether or not they should take the risk, whether or not they should quit.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, if you feel that one, you will be able to, two, you're really passionate about that, even though I have a good job, I have something that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It is important for us to realize that taking a break does not make us unemployable.
Mm-hmm.
Take that as if you are in that position of privilege where you're not earning for a year or two, will not result in people going hungry and dying. Right? If you're in that position,
Mm-hmm.
go take that risk.
Mm-hmm.
Take it for a year, take it for two, take it for three, wherever you feel that, either you will get there, take, or if you feel just that little more,
Mm-hmm.
you can always pursue that little more till whenever people start going hungry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Till then, you can keep pushing. Let's say you took a 5-year risk and nothing really happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. The
Mm-hmm.
worst thing that will happen is that you could have progressed in your professional corporate career in those 5 years. But that does not mean that you are unemployable. Right? You can join whatever company, wherever they get you, and you can start again from there.
Thank you so much. I mean, we have covered so many things in this shortcast, but that conclusion was the most powerful of them all. So, thank you so much for that. And thanks for taking so much time out to convey so many different intricate details to us. Thank you to the audience for watching this much. I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. I'll be adding all of Aradhya's links in the description so you can check him out. And stay tuned for the next episode coming very soon. Thank you, Aradhya.
Thank you.